This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. In the field with my dogs, like the Sixers, we gon' ball. Wake up early in the morning, tune in anytime at all. Hard time, all season, don't believe in off seasons. Watch the Phillies, watch the Flyers, and the Eagles on the weekends. Yeah, this is not your ordinary radio show. Ain't just talking sports, we be talking about the culture. All across the globe, anything you wanna cover. This is for the fans, no room for our front runners. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad Memory Show. Marcus Brown, just Emery.
Yo.
This was an interesting spectacle on Sunday afternoon in Indianapolis. Very, very interesting for me personally. I don't know if you can relate, but I'll just throw it out there and see what you think about this. So I'm watching.
Full disclosure, I slept through the fourth quarter.
Oh well, you missed the best quarter.
I mean, I've since watched the replay. I know what happened, but
yeah. So
I gave up. I'm not gonna lie, I gave up.
So I'm sitting there on the couch, and as we do what we do, we're always taking notes and observations for Tuesday because the people want to hear what we have to say, and we want to give them the best opinion we can. So I'm watching this the first three quarters, and usually when the Eagles aren't playing well and things aren't going well, I can point to A, B, C, or D as to why this isn't working out, what's happening. I got to tell you, that first three quarters was very strange because I had a very hard time and still have a very hard time figuring out what actually was going wrong. Because now we go to the drive two, you point to the penalties. They had a couple penalties set that drive back. They got to clean that up. That's important. Drive one with the defense, Jonathan Taylor ran all over the place, and obviously you can get concerned about. At that point, you were like, oh boy, is this going to be a repeat of Monday night? Mm-hmm. After that point, they tighten it up. Sue and Joseph literally get in there,
what? Yeah, I
threw them on the field, and they did their job. They were, they were there.
I cannot imagine they felt great yesterday.
No, just get in there, guys. But you go through it, and I'm looking at the quarterback, and I'm like, this actually, in a weird way, is one of the best games I've seen from him in the sense of his decision making. This is a game they lose last year strictly for the fact that Jalen Hurts was a guy that could not operate without a quality tight end last year. Goddard's out. Goddard's gone. He's gone for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Obviously, you miss him in that offense. There's no question about it. You miss him in that offense. However, I thought Jalen Hurts made some really good throws on Sunday, and I thought he did a good job getting the ball to the outsides, which he struggled with last year big time. Everything had to be inside last year for him, and he got the ball outside to his playmakers. That's why it was just like, why is it not going better? I thought his decision making was really good. I'll point to a very particular a 3rd and 2 where he drops back, and everything last year he would have done, he would have tucked it and got out of there and ran. He kept in the pocket, kept out on the field, danced around, and found the open man. I was like, yo, this is great. So we get to the fourth quarter. I'm like, they're going to lose this game and only score 3 points? Like, there's no way. How is that possible? After all of these positives, I see the defense look much better. They after that first drive, they tighten up. They were able to stop the run consistently. So you don't have to worry about that. I thought Jonathan Taylor did a much better job showing pressure looks and trying to create pressure with the statue Matt Ryan. That was good. Offensively, they did move the ball. It didn't fruit results until the fourth quarter, but they were moving the ball. And then the fourth quarter, you start to make a couple plays, and once they scored the first touchdown, I was like, they're not going to lose this game. It's not happening. It was just a matter of how they were going to get it done and what they were going to do. I think the last drive, there was some questionable play calls. I think, especially in the red zone, that I had some issues with. They were able to get it done. I don't like the idea. First of all, what the blue hell was that lining up in the victory formation to try to catch them off sides with what was it? Fourth and 2? Like maybe 4th and inches, you try something like that. But 4th and 2? What? Absolutely not. Like that makes zero sense at all to me. So there was that. There was a 3rd and 4 draw that I didn't think made a lot of sense in the way they're moving the ball. But I like the QBs need to get Jalen Hurts in the end zone. That's always going to be an option in that red zone, which is nice to have that be something you can do. And they got the job done. It wasn't pretty at most of the time, but we talked last week about the NFL and how sometimes you got to turn those losses into victories, and they did that Sunday. They turned a loss into a victory. Indianapolis, like Jonathan Taylor is still Jonathan Taylor. You got to feel good about the way they played against the run after that first drive again. And overall, listen, we have a 9-1 football team. You're number 1 seed right now. You're on pace right now to have the only bye with the Vikings loss. Thank you, Dallas. So
big,
yeah, huge. I don't. And that, by the way, I don't understand. Like, grow up with that. I can't root for Dallas. I was rooting like hell for Dallas.
Oh,
beat the brakes off of them.
I was jumping up and down.
I thought it was also a bad spot for the Vikings coming off that emotional win. Buffalo, Dallas coming off a bad loss to the Packers. It was set up for a beating, and you need that. You need Dallas take care of them, get a little separation, and get that game back, which they did. So I'm very happy with the way everything turned out as far as with the Eagles on Sunday.
Yeah, everything that you wanted to happen happened. Eagles won, Cowboys won, Giants lost. You gain a little bit more breathing room in the division. I think that the Giants could be coming back down to earth a little bit now.
Yes.
Cowboys, we knew they were good. We knew they were a good team. Let's not act like, Cowboys, what are they, 7-3 now?
Yes.
Let's not act like we knew that it was a 2-horse race for this division. The Giants were a surprise. They lose Dak. Dak's back. They're hitting on all cylinders. Micah Parsons, a cyborg. It is what it is. We didn't expect.
And the command. This isn't working. This isn't going exactly how I thought it was going to go with the Commanders. But watch out for them. I mean, they're 6-5 now. They're a game behind Dallas. I thought they would. Obviously, we talked about. I was high on them going into the season for reasons that are not happening now. I didn't see Taylor Heineke or the way they're playing and winning games. But listen, they're playing good football and they're right there for that second spot.
Yeah. So everything you wanted to happen. You got the 2-game buffer now. I guess technically 2.5 with the Vikings because you hold the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2-game now buffer in the division between you and the Giants. You still have 2 games against them. You beat Dallas head to head. You split with Washington, but Washington will not be a contender for the division. Everything you wanted this Sunday to happen. Actually, now I guess you probably would have preferred a Dallas Vikings bye. Outside of that, you got everything you wanted. Now, like I said, in real time during the game, full disclosure, I went to bed at the start of the fourth quarter. I had given up. I listened to the first quarter, as I always do, coming home from Borgata, listening to Mike and Merrill. Watched second quarter, infuriated. Watched third quarter, confused. Fourth quarter, I said, all right, I'm going to sleep. I had the game on. I dipped. Woke up, checked my phone to a text from my buddy. He said something, I forget exactly word for word what he said, but something along the lines of, hey, it doesn't matter how you win. If you win even ugly against a bad team, a win's still a win.
Agreed.
And I read it, and I was like, the hell's he talking about?
What happened here?
So I check. I see that they won 17-16. Boom. I wake up, I'm a different person now. Both I'm refreshed. They won.
Yeah.
So I go, rewatch the game without the commercials. So I get done like 20, 25 minutes. Boom, watch the whole game. I was Nick Sirianni too emotional for this game?
People are saying that, and I feel like
Like,
that
I don't
it
care
is-
about, like, let me rephrase that. I don't care if he was emotional. Like, whatever. I'm going to get emotional about stuff. You get emotional about stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody gets emotional about stuff. I don't care about that. Did his emotions cloud his judgment? Because I think that he coached a stupid game the first 3 quarters. Like, he's a good game day coach.
Mhm.
Clock management, all that. He's good at all of that.
Yeah.
You didn't see any of that on Sunday against the Colts. You saw 3 offensive line penalties in a row, Marcus.
Yeah.
I think that this game got to him and clouded the way that he operated the first 3 quarters. And then when it came down to the 4th quarter, he looked at the scoreboard and said, "Oh, bleep, I got to figure this out right now. I can't leave here with the L." And he did. Now, it also helps when I got to ask you a really important question. Who has a lower heartbeat? Ranger Suarez or Jalen Hurts?
No, that's a great question.
It helps when your quarterback, I say this with all due respect. It looks like he doesn't care.
Right.
And I don't, that's not a shot at him. That
I know what you mean.
he looks like he doesn't care, and I love it.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I gotta say this about Jalen Hurts. Whoever the people were that he went to this summer and worked
Yes.
with, they deserve all the praise in the world. I personally, and I
At
don't
the
want.
end-
I
At
hate
the
making
end of the
grand
year,
declarations. I hate that because like it's one of those things where you say it and just makes you sound dramatic. But I personally, in my lifetime, I don't believe I have seen a turnaround like this from a season to season with a guy skill set and ability to process information from Jalen Hurts last year to Jalen Hurts this year. I can't think of anything off the top of my head of a transformation like this.
I have already began penning my apology letter that I'm going to deliver at the first show we do after the season ends. I've already begun.
You know what? I'm gonna do that too. I think we definitely should. Yes, yes. This is a great idea by you.
Yeah, I began.
I'm gonna pen an apology letter to him.
Yeah.
And you know what we're gonna do?
Right
We're
now,
gonna
what
mail-
I've been doing is I
We're
basically.
gonna mail him Novacare.
Well,
You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Okay? Because it's not just us. There's a lot of people that owe Jalen Hurts an apology.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should start a campaign on the Brad Memory Show. We should all write letters of apology to Jalen Hurts. Let's mail him Novacare.
Okay. I've said I've already began collecting my notes. I've went
Yeah.
back, listened to what the criticisms I've said in past
Yeah.
episodes.
But I
I've
think we were fair. I think we were justified when we said, but like we were
Because
wrong.
we never came. I mean, I'll speak for the people on this show, you
Yeah.
and me.
Yes.
We never came at him on a personal level.
No.
It was always, I don't like what I see when I watch the games.
1,000%.
You
And we
could-
also said a million times at nauseum, we hope we are wrong.
yes, and
I am glad to be wrong here. I can't wait for my dear Jalen.
yeah. Can I actually
Dear
give you-
Jalen, my bad.
real quick? Let me give you what I think part of the biggest boost is to Jalen.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure we'll be doing a massive Jalen show at the end of the year, I'm sure.
Yes.
But real quick, I think that it is no coincidence that so Jalen Hurts is known to be a great student,
Mhm.
studying all that. We've always known all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's any coincidence for the first time in his life having the same coaching staff in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
With how hard he studies,
Yeah.
helps him. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, and being a coach's kid, like he gets constructive criticism. And like that's something that Carson Wentz struggled with. And Darren Sproles was on a FanDuel podcast about a week ago, and he was asked about Carson Wentz and the incident that happened during the Super Bowl run, and what he feels that Carson could do better. And he was trying. First of all, he was struggling to say anything nice about him, but he didn't want to throw him under the bus. But he was struggling to say nice things about Carson Wentz. And one of the things he said was like he just needs to take criticism better. He needs to listen to his coaches. And it's a simple thing, but it's such an important thing to be able to listen, take that direction, internalize it, receive it, and then bring it out on Sunday. And Jalen Hurts, a match like we have a clip of last year in a game last year. I think it was a primetime game of Nick Sirianni. Absolutely, Jalen Hurts just fumbled, which doesn't do a lot. Nick Sirianni absolutely chewing him out from sideways to sideways, and Jalen Hurts is taking it. He didn't turn around and say, well, and say anything back. He just took it. I respected that. It takes a lot for someone to be chewing you out like that, and you have to sit there and eat it.
You ever watch or listen to all the smoke with
Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson? Yeah.
Have you heard the one where they have Kevin Garnett on the
I've seen clips of that episode. Yeah, I love his story on Jordan with Isaiah Ryder.
No. The one where it's the same episode where Steven Jackson tells a story about Pop and Tim Duncan.
Okay, I didn't hear that clip.
So he goes, it's during a game. He's like, we're getting blown out by 20 in the first half by a team that we should be running out of the gym.
Yeah.
He goes, and we're sitting on the bench during a timeout, and Pop is just laying into Tim Duncan, just giving it to him. And he's like, Tim's just sitting there, mouth closed, like just taking it.
Taking it.
And I looked at him, and afterwards, and I was like, oh, man. Now, obviously, you've heard what they say on the show. This is obviously not the words they've used, but he was like, oh, man.
Right.
If Timmy's taking that, how am I supposed to snap back at Pop?
Right. And that's why Pop did it. And sometimes, the leader takes the brunt of the abuse because the leader should be able to handle it.
Fact.
And it's just like he said, if you're, Miles Sanders, you're like, well, if Jalen's taking it, what's my excuse not to? There's been, remember, there was an incident when the Eagles were really good, the 2010 Eagles. They had, I think it was a game, maybe it was a game after it wasn't a game after Johnson, it was the Vikings game. It was some point during that season of the 2010 Eagles. And they were in Chicago, and they lost, they ended up losing the game. They played horrible. Andy Reid came in the locker room and just cussed out Deshaun Jackson for a good 25 minutes. And he didn't take it well. That's reports that he ended up getting emotional about it. Like Mike Vick had to come over and console him because a lot of guys can't deal with that and can't handle that sort of criticism. But it's just, yeah. But listen, back to my original point, whoever worked with him this offseason, I know he was working with some people out in California. I think also too, I think the AJ Brown factor of just having that another support system has helped. Like a guy that is rooting for your success. That and like their best friends has been documented how close they are. And I think that helps also of a guy you have natural chemistry with. And also Devontae Smith is another guy you have natural chemistry with. Now, we talked in the offseason, we talked going into the season about we were worried about that relationship because, for receivers, it's an incentive-based business. And we were worried about Jalen Hurts being able to get Devontae the ball in his spots. And we pointed out some moments where you could kind of see Devontae getting a little frustrated. But all that has gone away based on the progression and evolution of Jalen Hurts, the quarterback.
Real quick, when you said we're going to send the letters to NovaCare, the only thing that went through my head was, "Dear Jalen, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling." I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom.
Please don't call and wonder why. Yeah, that's well, we got to do it. It's the right thing to do.
It is. I mean, I was just going to deliver it on the show, but your idea is much better.
Well, listen, one great idea spawns another great idea. I think we preach accountability all the time, so why not we be leaders to take that accountability and moving forward. Now, what I want to do now is look at the NFC playoff picture because I think things are getting interesting out here. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up here.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up as well. All right, I got it right here. Which one?
Actually,
do you want to go
why don't you, since you're,
to? NFC or which one do you want? Do you want the
give me the NFC.
The NFC? All
Yes.
right. So right now, obviously at the top of the pack, you have the Eagles.
Yes.
Obviously sitting at number 1.
Mhm.
And despite the fact that they lost this week, sitting at number 2, you still have the Vikings. Now, after that, it gets a little more interesting because you have a couple of teams that are all jumbled up with. Well, no, you have the problem is that the Cowboys and the Giants are both in the Eagles division, so they're way down, despite the fact that they should be higher. So the 3rd seed currently, after looking extremely impressive last night, is the San Francisco 49ers. However, they're 2 games back behind the Minnesota Vikings still.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, somebody's got to win the South. You know, it's a crap division. Somebody's got to win the South. Right now, the Buccaneers are there at 5-5. They'll probably win that division. Carolina sucks. The Saints suck. The Falcons are awful.
Yeah.
So the Buccaneers will probably win that. But now is where it starts to get real interesting because you have sitting at the 5th seed, the 7-3 Cowboys. Sitting at the 6th seed, you have the 7-3 Giants, who in approximately 51 and a half hours play each other.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And then you have rounding out at the 7th seed, the Seattle Seahawks at 6-4. But right behind them is the Washington Commanders at 6-5.
So it is interesting for me.
Then I think then you have a decisive break because then you have the Falcons, the Lions.
That 4, 5, 6 area is interesting to me because what I see right now is I see a Cowboys-Bucks first-round matchup. And listen, the Cowboys don't win big games. So you could very well have Tom Brady come into the link, which I'm not exactly excited about.
Listen,
like that's a real possibility. Like,
I understand what I said last year.
Yeah.
I will not make that mistake again.
I don't want to say it. Like
I will not make that mistake again.
Because do you trust the Cowboys to beat if the Bucks go down to Dallas? I'm not picking the Cowboys in that game, just based off their history on winning big games. I think they're the more talented team.
They should win.
They should win the game, but I don't know. And then because then like you still then you listen. I would love to have the Cowboys coming here to the link, but I just don't think they're going to win that game.
So if I'm looking at it right now, let's make the assumption. Okay, the Vikings would beat the Seahawks. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. You'd have the Giants play the 49ers. I think we'd all agree that the Giants would lose.
Yes.
Okay.
I love the Niners, as we've talked about before.
Yeah, and then you'd have the Buccaneers play the Cowboys. I mean, let's take the scenario the Cowboys win, okay? Let's go with that scenario. You have Eagles, Cowboys, Vikings, 49ers. I honestly think the 49ers can go to Minnesota and win that game.
Yes, I would agree. The 49ers are, and I was going to get into this when we do a power rankings, but since we're talking about it, we'll just do it now. The 49ers are built for January. That's why they terrify me, because they're absolutely built. Like, if you build a team to be successful in cold weather, warm weather, tropical weather, wherever they're playing, they're built to and then you throw Christian McCaffrey in with an already prolific run game. Deebo Samuel, the utility knife.
I am so mad, Marcus, about that game yesterday.
Kittle is back to being Kittle again. They really listen. Again, you don't root for injuries, but I think they dodged a bullet by keeping Jimmy G and now having him be able to step back in for Trey Lance, who I don't believe was ready and I don't believe will ever be ready to be an NFL quarterback.
I mean, let me ask you real quick. If you're actually, this is a great question for next time we have Lombardi on.
Okay.
You're John Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Garoppolo is a free agent at the end of this year.
Yes.
What do you do?
I bring him back and I'm done with Trey Lance. What else do I need to see? Like, first of all, it is huge. Like we talk about Carson Wentz all the time, right? Like, people don't like him. For whatever reason, whatever he's doing, he rubs people the wrong way. Jimmy Garoppolo, one of the most handsome men on the planet, who seems like people would think he's a douche. It's not. He seems to be a great guy that people love playing for. They rally around him. That means a lot. It means a lot. So what else are you looking for? Just give him the job. Hey, what is he? 30?
31 maybe?
Okay, so in the style he plays, why can he do this for another 7 years? Why are in the world
He just turned 31.
Like, don't be one of those people that I am trying to be right. I drafted Trey Lance, so I'm going to stick with this because I want to be right. Look at what's happening. You made a mistake. It's fine. Give Jimmy G the contract. Send Trey Lance, get a draft pick for him. There's some team out there that's going to take a chance on him. And you know what? Maybe in a couple years he pans out. But I don't see why, with the style of Jimmy Garoppolo is perfect for how the 49ers play football. Perfect for it. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He knows where to go with the football. He plays well in big games. Come on, man. Give him a real shot. What is the reason not to? Give him a shot. Give him a 5-year contract. Start at 5 years, and then just do 1 year after that. Like, maybe draft someone in 3-4 years. But the Niners are set up to be good for a very long time because everyone else is young.
Yeah, I mean, you can't keep both again.
No.
That absolutely just cannot happen.
Absolutely not.
You gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance.
I understand that, and I understand that's
no,
why
that
you saying that it makes John Lynch want to be like, well, I'm gonna look like an idiot if I admit this. No,
the thing is, if it's time, if you got to cut bait, you just cut bait and you deal with your losses.
Right.
Look at Howie Roseman with the Carson Wentz contract. Look at the Commanders when they got rid of RG3.
Mm-hmm.
Look, sometimes it just is.
It is what it is.
What it is.
I believe in my whole entire heart, that the Eagles' biggest competition to get the Super Bowl is the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. If Trey Lance was their quarterback, I would not have said that. I would say bring it on.
Like, the Seahawks signed Matt Flynn to a $40 million free agent contract.
Right.
Drafted Russell Wilson in the 3rd round.
Right.
And Matt Flynn never played another game.
Right.
I mean,
right.
And they already had, and at the same time they had Jackson, forget his first name.
Yeah.
Tyree Jackson. I know it's not Tyree, but
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
he's in my head. Yeah, I can't think of it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, the 49ers are built to win right now. They're not built for chances. They're built to win now. So capitalize on that window. And we talk a lot about their offense, but they have a really good defense. Not a lot of big names on the defense besides Bosa, but it's a really good defense that doesn't give a lot of points. Like I said, if I'm scared of anybody in the NFC, it's them. It's definitely them.
I agree.
They are built to win in January. I think they are the biggest competition for the Eagles. It's nice they got off to a slower start. Thank you, Trey Lance. But because if they got off to a fast start, you might be competing for them to get that number 1 seed. But they've kind of been trying to figure out their footing. So, it looks like that game, if you get the NFC Championship game, that game will be at the link, which is good. But yeah, I mean, they're a good squad. So that's the NFC picture right now. Obviously, we have about 7 weeks left, so a lot could change in that 7 weeks. I don't think a lot will change in the top end, but I see that 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be a lot of switch around here and there. We'll see.
The teams that are going to make it are starting to pull away a little bit.
Yeah.
Where will they fall in that? Where will they slot in the standings?
Yeah, we'll look back. I think we'll look back at the end of the season, the way the season's going right now, and this Indianapolis game, which seems like just a footnote in the season, I can make an argument as one of the biggest wins this year for them, because you lose that game and it creates this like free fall energy. Like what happened? What happens now? Like if they end up losing this game 13-3 or 16-3, whatever, it's panic starts to set in. Like where like was all of that fluky? Like what's going on? But getting that win, it just gets you back on track. And now you're set up nice to come home and just beat the brakes off the Packers. You're
Yeah.
really set up nicely to do that.
Before we get to your power rankings, because this is a perfect segue, can we
Yeah.
just talk about how dumb the Chargers coach is?
This is a no, oh my gosh.
I hate this guy.
I hate him too. And like he's just got to go. I mean, it is a shame the amount of games and things that he's cost that team and that franchise. He's not the guy for the job. I think Justin Herbert is turning into a great quarterback in spite of him, not because of him. And I also think because this is actually a point about Zach Wilson and his struggles. Obviously, he was horrible on Sunday. A lot of people are really tough on him. Now, I haven't done all my research because I've just started thinking about this. I want to dive into this deep, but maybe you'll know this. I want to know if there's been a young quarterback, that has been successful with a defensive-minded head coach. Like going back in the past 30 years, like a guy that was a defensive guy who drafted a dude that was supposed to be the franchise quarterback and was successful with a defensive guy. Because I can't think of any off the top of my head. Now, you've had guys that they hire a defensive coach, but the quarterback was already great. But a quarterback that was drafted with a defensive-minded head coach.
I got a few. I mean, Russell Wilson.
I thought about him. I say no on him because that team was predicated on that defense.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Josh Allen's a good one. But also, I mean, I guess they've also had great offensive minds in the room.
Yeah, I mean,
but Sean McDermott's a defensive head.
Defense.
That's a great one. I like that one. That's a good one.
I don't know the exact timeline because it happened either the year before I was born or the year that I was born. Randall and Buddy Ryan. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. Randall was very, very talented, naturally gifted, but Randall was not developed very well. That's why ultimately the team wasn't as successful as it should be because once they got in the playoffs,
Randall won with Buddy as the head coach, though.
Season games.
Well, that's what I mean. He won.
Right, but once they got to the playoffs, that was the problem. I
don't think he won a single playoff game.
No, he didn't because the defensive intensity changed. You had a lot of really good coaches: Parcells, Gibbs, John Robinson out in LA lost to them, and they were guys that knew how to devise a game plan to beat him because Buddy couldn't devise an offensive game plan to counteract that because he wasn't an offensive guy, and they didn't have any. Like you had Rich Kotite, who was a dunderhead, and then by the time John Gruden gets here, they're trying to teach Randall the West Coast offense, but he's been here for 10 years, basically doing whatever he wants to do, and he couldn't quite grasp that. So that's a great example on my side of why you might need that offensive guy.
Does Tom Brady count?
It's an interesting one. Because early years, I would say about Tom Brady, early year Brady was much more of a manager than what he became later on. So Bill Belichick was always there, but he develops under, I don't, that's an interesting one. I don't know about that. I don't know what the right answer is because obviously he's turned into an offensive weapon, but they also got better offensive minds in the room around Bill Belichick. In earlier years, they didn't have those minds in the room. It was just Belichick, So that's why Brady was more of, hey, just don't do anything stupid.
And then I got one more. I don't, like I said, I don't remember the timelines, but I think they were the same. Cam Newton and Ron Rivera.
They were there.
I just don't know if like did a different coaching staff draft Cam? I don't remember.
Ron Rivera was here for a long period of time, so he couldn't have been there when Cam was drafted. But I can't think of who drafted Cam. I'm struggling to remember who.
Cam was 2011, right? That he was drafted.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
All right. Let me just look it up real quick. Panthers drafted Cam Newton. Well, they sure don't make that simple to find, do they?
Who was the coach of the Carolina Panthers in 2011?
That's what I'm looking for. Oh, well, first I just want to confirm that it was 2011 he was drafted. It was. Yes, 2011. Okay. Let's see. The head coach for them in 2011 was Ron Rivera. It was his first pick. That was his guy.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And that's. But Cam to me is a Randall Cunningham kind of example where I feel like.
Yeah, but the difference is that Cam won an MVP and played in a Super Bowl, though.
True. Yeah. No, he won.
Now I don't know. Now, see, that makes me sound uneducated. I don't know if Randall won an MVP. I was a child. I don't know
when he was. I think he in '89. I think that was. I think he won an MVP in '89, the Ultimate Weapon year.
I'll look it up real quick.
I believe he did.
Let me see.
He should have won '98 MVP. Did he win an MVP '98?
He I don't see him having an MVP at all.
Oh, so maybe okay.
Nope, no.
All right.
Comeback Player of the Year, a couple All Pros, a couple Pro Bowls, passer rating leader, Eagles Hall of Fame.
I mean, he definitely should have won in '98.
Yeah, no, he does not have an MVP. Okay, so I mean, Cam Newton, played in the Super Bowl, won an MVP. I mean,
so we thought. So this is good. We thought of a couple examples. I'll give you Cam Newton, Josh Allen, definitely. Tom Brady is we'll throw that in there too. But we're talking over 35 years, 40 years. We don't come with 3 examples.
Well, let me check one more. I got one more. Let me just check one more.
Okay.
I want to just make sure that the timelines add up.
Okay.
So make sure the timelines add up. Okay. Okay. Yep. I think I got one more for you.
Okay.
Let me just make sure. I just want to confirm. Andrew Luck, Chuck Pagano, same year.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely one.
Okay. Outside now, I'm starting to.
So 4 really good examples in 35 years, 40 years.
But those were also, I mean, when you look, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't use that for Tom Brady, but Cam Newton and Andrew Luck. Hold on. 3 of those 4 were a top 7 draft pick.
You're right.
So it's really, unless you're an elite level prospect,
right?
Now. I mean, Justin Herbert was.
Zach Wilson was.
Zach Wilson was, and I mean, Justin Herbert, the same thing. Like he's, he was a top 10 pick, I think.
Right. Yep.
But outside, Brady's the outlier. 6th round pick, defensive coach.
Right. I feel like but some of those guys you need that coach that's gonna develop you, and I feel like they got to figure out. I think Saleh's doing a good job coaching the Jets. I don't think Staley's doing a good job coaching the Chargers at all. So Saleh is more of a different animal because he's got them being competitive. Where
what he did
is being competitive, they're just not winning. They should be winning more games than they are.
Yeah, the thing is, you can see Saleh's fingerprints all over the defense.
Right.
Jets defense, immediate improvement.
Yes.
Quarterback holding him back a little bit right now in New York.
Yeah, I mean he is, no question. And like Style was out, he was non-committal on be starting this week, which
Josh, Yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson's going to start this week. Let's just.
Yeah, right. I think so too. But he was non-committal, and a couple weeks ago he said he was starting for the rest of the year. So, and listen, like
You hear what Booger
obviously-
McFarland said yesterday on the pregame show about Zach Wilson?
No,
So he's going off. So did you hear Zach Wilson's quotes after the game?
no.
So they asked him. They said, the reporter asked, Zach, do you think your play the last 2 weeks has been a letdown to the defense? Could not have possibly said no faster. Now, you don't want to admit that. What you come out and you say is, I have to play better.
Right.
That's just, it is what, like, it doesn't matter. Peyton Manning used to go out there and throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, and lose the game. And they would ask him about his defense, and he would say, I have to do better. They would say, Peyton, you threw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He would say, I don't care. I need to throw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Right.
You can't come out and say, no. Brush it off. So
Right.
Those are the quotes.
Right.
So then he says that after the game. Fast forward to the pregame show. It's Steve Young, RG3, Booger McFarland, and whoever else is on the pregame show. Booger McFarland,
RG3, Steve Young.
Yeah. So Booger McFarland goes off about how Zach Wilson is a what's the word I'm looking for? A spoiled, entitled kid who his dad was coaching him his whole career, and he's never had to face adversity before. The entire panel just puts their head down. Like RG3 literally is like, and that's what I think the problem is that he doesn't accept responsibility for the fact that he got 100 yards of offense.
Right.
Marcus didn't have 100 passing yards. He had 100 yards of offense in the NFL in 2022.
And he was missing some really easy throws.
Did you see the one that he threw out to the flat to the running back?
Yes. Just bad.
Yeah. There's no doubt he's a better athlete than I am. I'm not even going to. I could have made that throw.
Yeah. I agree.
So, power rankings?
Let's get into power rankings. So, I accidentally deleted last week's power rankings.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I got you. No worries. I have them right here. Okay. So, last week on the power rankings,
okay.
Marcus, you had Cowboys number. Let's go 10. You had the Titans at 10, Giants at 9, Ravens at 8, Bills at 7, Dolphins at 6, Cowboys at 5, 49ers at 4, Chiefs at 3, Vikings at 2, and the Eagles at number 1.
Okay, so let's get into this week. We're getting to that time of year where, like I said before, some good teams aren't going to be in this list. That's just how it goes. You're going to have some 11, 12, and 13s that you can debate could be in 10 or 9 maybe. So I'm going just my eyes are telling me and what I think the best ones are to be on this list. At number 10, a team that has not been on basically the entire year. But I think they're coming on. I think when they get even healthier, when Jamar Chase comes back, I think it's going to be an even bigger problem. That's Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals scoring points again, my friends. That's a problem for the rest of the NFL.
The Joe Mixon injury, though, you got to watch out for that.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Chase, you'll get Chase back in a couple weeks.
They got a stable of backs, but they're not Joe Mixon.
Right. But right now, from what I see, they're playing good football. They've stabilized the front. They're winning games again. 6-4, a team that's getting hot, which you never want to see these teams get hot late November. So that's why they're number 10. Number 9, the dropping down a spot, but still I think deserve to be in here as the Baltimore Ravens. Not a great showing from them on Sunday at all. Survived against the Panthers, which is Panthers are a really bad football team. I was expecting a mollywhopping, and that was not that at all. The Ravens, we need better out of them. But they still survived to stay at number 9. Number 8.
Wow, you dropped them all the way to 9?
Yeah, they were 8 last week, right?
I mean, I think they're a top 5. All right. All right.
Ravens? No, not from Sunday. They don't look good at all. You can't be at home to the Panthers 13-3. Get out of here. No. not good. I need a 30-3 on that one. But I think there's just a lot of teams better than them, to be honest with you. I think they're a good team. I think they can make some noise down the stretch, but I just feel like I don't know how to justify taking any of these teams I have ahead of them and putting them lower. Tennessee Titans, solid win over the Green Bay Packers. Again, a team that's built to play in January.
We've been calling these Titans wins all season long.
Yeah, and they're just built. Listen, stop asking questions about Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry is King Henry, and the defense has improved. Like that's the big difference for me. That defense used to be horrible. They used to be terrible. That's not the case anymore with them. So look out for them in January. I wouldn't want them coming to my house. Number 7, dropping down to Minnesota Vikings. Now listen, bad spot for them, as we stated. I still think they're a good football team. There's just a couple teams in the AFC that just scare me more than them. I'm not scared of the Minnesota Vikings. And that has nothing to do with what we did in week 2. I think obviously that was 2 months ago. It's just based off of just watching the NFC. I think there's other teams to fear that's not them. Number 6, the Buffalo Bills get back on track. Beating in Detroit, they end up beating
Cleveland
Browns. Yes, Cleveland Browns in Detroit. Got off a little bit of a slow start, but looked much more like Buffalo in the second half.
But I expect them to destroy the Lions this week.
I do too. I think they're going to beat the Lions pretty bad. The Lions, although they've been competitive this year, they can't play defense.
Lions are not a good team.
They can't stop anybody. Like Buffalo could put up a 50 spot on them this week. Like I don't see how they're stopping them for any reason whatsoever.
No, they're gonna pound them.
The Lions, this to me is gonna be like a 48-21.
Yeah, the Lions are gonna get pounded
because I don't see them getting any stops.
No.
Number 5. Speaking of getting stops, the Miami Dolphins, who no one can stop right now, scoring points at will. I expect them to lay another beating on the Houston Texans this week. They're 13-point favorites right now. And I don't usually get involved in covering that much of spread in the NFL, but I think they're going to do that because the Texans have a hard time scoring points, and the Miami Dolphins don't. So definitely a recipe for disaster for them for a big-time beat. Number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas, listen, they're a good team. I don't think anyone's surprised by the fact that they're a good team. They have, I think, giving Tony Pollard more carries is definitely a good move on their part.
Yeah, my fantasy team loves it.
Yeah. Dak played really good mistake-free football on Sunday, which is they need him to do. The defense is the defense. They're a good squad. We'll just, again, it's kind of like, talk about Lamar Jackson. We'll see what you do in Tua in January, throwing the ball around. We'll see what you do in January. That's really what it comes down to for you. At number 3 for me, and we talked about this, the scariest team in the NFC, in my opinion, is the San Francisco 49ers. I know the record right now, people say, oh, the record's not good. Just look at them. Look at them.
Yeah, they're primed. They're ready to go. Like they're
look at them play football and tell me they don't deserve to be high on this list.
Yeah, no, they're
watch them. Just take a second out of your day and watch what they're doing.
The Christian McCaffrey trade was game changing.
Game changer, and they're clicking on all cylinders. What you want around Thanksgiving is when you want it all to be coming together. And that's what's happening. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. That game had loss written all over it. The Chargers getting back Mike Williams, even though he goes out after 3 plays, he hurt his ankle again. Getting Keenan Allen back. They definitely need that win more than the Chiefs did. It had a loss written all over it, but the Chiefs. I mean, what do you say about Patrick Mahomes at this point? Like, what do you say about him? What do you say about Travis Kelce? They're missing their 2 top wide receivers. Doesn't matter. Here, let's go out there and win. Pacheco looks insane for them. Pacheco was absolutely insane for them at running back. Hilaire has kind of pretty much lost his job at this point.
Did you just call him Prosecco?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to catch myself there.
Isn't that like when I called the Flyers coach Filet Mignon?
Yeah. Prosecco. But anyway, that offense is what it is always. Defensively, they're okay. They get stopped when they need to. But you got Pat Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Number 1 still for the 6th week in a row, 5th week in a row.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles. Best record in the league. best team in the league.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to dispute any of those. I just think that, like, I don't have a problem with your teams. I just think that I think you got the Ravens a little too low.
So let's stop right there. Let's stop there for a second.
Okay.
So you think the Ravens are too low?
Yeah.
Who do I move to get the Ravens up higher? Who do you think the Ravens are better than on this list?
I think that the Ravens should be in the 7-8 range.
So you think they're better than the Vikings?
I think they're better than the Titans. So they're at least 8. And I think that you would, like, if you wanted to put them at Vikings 7, Ravens 8, I wouldn't. I think they're very comparable to the Vikings. So if you want to put them at 7 and Vikings at 8, or Vikings at 7, Ravens at 8, I honestly understand that they beat them head to head. Just like we're not sure how we can believe in the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I can believe in Tua and the Dolphins. Like, it's still.
The thing is, though, they're playing so well. I cannot at any point justify dropping them how well they're playing. They are beating the brakes off of everybody they play. They're beating up people.
I don't like. Let me pull up their schedule real quick.
That's why I can't like I hear your point, and yeah, Tua has a lot to prove.
I mean, like,
but
they're going to
haven't lost the start where Tua started.
Yeah, like they got coming up still. They're going to be going to Buffalo, to New England, to San Francisco. Like,
yeah, and yes, I mean, so there's opportunity for them to drop. It's just not this week for me. Like I can't justify that after what I've seen from them the past month or so. They're just too good right now. And like, yeah, I want to see the Buffalo particularly. I'm very excited about. I want to see Tua throw the ball in the cold.
Well, also New England.
I want to see what that looks like.
I can go, but go also playing against the Patriots.
Yeah,
in New England, but either one of those.
Yeah, I want to see how that looks.
Because I mean, like we said, it looks real nice down in Miami right now.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo just got more snow on the ground than I am tall.
Yeah.
So let's see if they can do that there.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So there was actually only 2 when I went to go construct the rankings list. Only 2 places have their rankings published so far. So that is The Ringer and that is ESPN. Everybody else, why are you waiting so late in the day to do this? Yeah, like come on, like what are you doing? Like what are we doing here? So number 10. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll start with The Ringer. Okay. Number 10. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
All right, I'm not gonna like this.
Should I just skip it?
Well, let me hear number 10.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Out. Get out of here. No. Get out. That's done for them. Thanks for coming, Ringer. Thanks for nothing.
I'm just skimming real quick through the. Everything else on their list you have, except for that one.
Yeah, that's not like Brady. The Buccaneers are on the radar as a team to watch out for and play. We talked about that earlier. I don't want him coming to the link. However, they are not one of the top 10 teams in the NFL right now. Stop.
That was funny.
They could lose. They could lose to Cleveland this week. I can see them going out there and losing to Cleveland this week.
That was a funny one. All right, so let's switch over to the worldwide leader. What do you say?
All right, let's do it.
Number 10, the New York Giants. How you feel about that?
I don't hate it. It's just like, again, the Giants are one of those teams now where they're like that 11-12 range. After getting beat up by Detroit at home, it's kind of proven my theory of like they didn't belong there in the first place. And there's no way in the world for me I can justify putting them over the Bengals, the Ravens, the Titans. I don't think they're better than any of those teams. That's where they would fall. Like who's I'm not taking the Titans out. I'm not taking the Ravens out. I think the Bengals are getting hot at a good time. And the Giants right now, they're probably going to lose 2 in a row. But I think the 9 is a little aggressive for them. I think they're going to cover.
10. Oh, the 9 points. Gotcha. Sorry. Okay.
I think they're going to cover now. But I don't think they should be on the list this week.
You have number 9, Tennessee.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you had them at 8. Here's where I disagree with ESPN. Number 8, the 49ers.
Yeah, that's low.
After watching that game last night, I don't know how you can have them in 8.
And that's record. I think that's just record based. They're going off the record. They're not paying attention to the actual team on the field. Where that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the squad and how they're playing and where they're trending, and that's how I'm determining my rankings. Like, and I think that they're just going by record, saying, "Oh, well, this team has a better record, so they need." No, the Niners are, besides the Eagles, the scariest team in the NFC. I think the best two teams in the NFC right now are the Eagles and the 49ers.
Real quick,
for the next two.
The spread for that has gone up to 9.5.
Yeah, I think that's a little aggressive. I think they'll cover that.
Here's what it is. At 9.5, I would take the Cowboys. At 10, I would take the Giants. Because I think the Cowboys can win this game by double digits. But I don't know. Like, the problem is when you take a spread that's double digits or more, you have to protect yourself against the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at it's an NFC East matchup. You know, it's
Thanksgiving.
The Cowboys traditionally do not play well on Thanksgiving. They just don't. They usually end up getting embarrassed on Thanksgiving.
I hope the Giants beat them, and then also the Eagles beat them on Christmas Eve, so that all Cowboys fans' Thanksgivings and Christmas are ruined.
I would be okay with that. I'm in. But yeah, I think that I look at it like I feel that it's a spot like I know you're coming home on a Thursday, but this is a division game. I think the Giants, because here's the thing about Daniel Jones. He's not like he had an interception, I think, Sunday, but he's not making a lot of those egregious mistakes. So I just don't see the Cowboys being a team that could blow a team out 2 weeks in a row. I don't see it.
Number 7, you got the Ravens.
Okay, more in where you like them.
Mm-hmm. Number 6, you got the Vikings.
Okay.
See, here's the thing: is I do not believe the Ravens are better than the 49ers. Though that's the thing. I disagree that they had the 49ers below the Ravens.
Right.
And I disagree that I would not put the 49ers below the Vikings either. But,
yes.
Yeah. Number 5, the Cowboys. Number 4, Dolphins. Okay. Buffalo 3, Philadelphia 2, and number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think Buffalo's a little
high. I think Buffalo's a little high. Here's the thing: is the Eagles have the best record.
Yeah.
I think they deserve to be number 1.
They've just consistently been the best team in football now for 6 weeks.
But even though the Chiefs are number 1, it's hard to say that Pat Mahomes right now doesn't deserve to be in the number 1. Like, just because of him, they don't deserve to be in the number 1. But I still can't put them there.
I understand.
It's like I don't hate that the Eagles aren't number 1, but on my list they would be, even though I understand an argument that they shouldn't be.
No, I hear you.
Only for the Chiefs, though. Nobody else.
Yeah, I hear you.
And that, like I said, those were the only ones that were published as of when I was putting the list together.
Sounds good.
So we got 2 quick AMA questions, both holiday related, and then before we get out of here, I believe you have something to say.
Old TED Talk.
Yeah. So the first one is,
and guys, listen real quick before you get into that. We have not forgotten that we have an NBA franchise.
I have. Well, I'm trying to.
It's just what am I looking at right now? Literally half the team is not playing. I know Ben Simmons coming back to town.
Who cares?
But it's not worth unpacking that because literally nobody's playing.
Here's the thing.
I want to give this time. Here's my thing. I want to give this time and give them time to figure this out before I come in guns a-blazing. I don't think it makes for interesting conversation for me just to obliterate them right now. It doesn't. It's not good conversation.
I don't want to talk about the Sixers because my therapist doesn't want to know about the Sixers. Like, let's just be real about it. Marcus, I'm
we need a break. We're gonna get to them after this Eagles run. I promise you. Yes, I know Ben Simmons coming down tonight.
Don't care.
I get it. It's just not something that we need to be addressing right now.
Don't care.
I mean, beat Discord 60, that was insane. But it's not something we need to talk about right
that was nuts.
Yeah, that was stupid. However, we'll get to them and we'll see it. We'll see it in hopefully in February.
Yeah. So first one, what is your guys' favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
I am a huge a tradition I started back when I got one Thanksgiving. I think it was like Thanksgiving '99. I was sick, so I didn't come out of the room like pretty much the entire day. But I really wanted some pie.
Okay.
So I made a special trip to the fridge to get the pie, and I sat there. My headache was so bad. I turned on the lights. I ate the pie in the dark. And I called it dark pie. So dark pie became a tradition for the next 10 years, where I traditionally get a pie and eat in the dark. I like
what kind? What kind of pie? Or
go Dutch apple pie is my go-to.
Right.
I like the Dutch apple pie with the crumbles on top, the sugar crumbles. I want it in a nice bowl, heat it up, and then give me that vanilla ice cream on top of it.
Mm.
I keep things simple.
I mean, listen, apple pie is delicious.
Yes.
I'm going peanut butter pie though, with whipped cream on top.
All right. I'm not mad at it.
Most fruit pies I don't like. Like I don't like cherry pie.
Cherry pie's gross.
Yeah, I don't like pumpkin, so I hate pumpkin.
I like pumpkin pie.
I don't like sweet potatoes, so I don't like sweet potato pie. Like I don't like any of that kind of stuff.
I'm not into that either.
I don't mind blueberry pie, but it's not my favorite.
Never had it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just like I said, it's not my favorite. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But the peanut butter pie.
Okay.
Yes. The second one. This is a question that has to do with Christmas decorations.
Okay.
When you're discussing traditional Christmas decorations, does that only include lights or does that also include lawn inflatables?
No, so that's not traditional.
I agree. I agree with you.
I'm a white light man. Keep it simple. I don't like color lights. I like white lights.
I like colored lights.
I don't do the color. I'm a white light man.
I just don't do the inflatables.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, listen, to each his own. If that's what you want to do on your lawn, I think it looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm not putting that on my lawn.
I think it looks horrible. Just give me the nice lights in the windows, maybe on the roof. Want to get creative, keep it simple.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not putting inflatables anywhere.
No, I don't like it. It's not like a visual.
I just don't want these big ass blown up things on my front lawn. Like it's just like I just don't want it in the way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't like it either.
So something bothering you?
Yeah. So everyone gather in. Let's dim the lights. Can you guys hear me back there? Oh, it's that time. It's time for a Bradham talk. So I've been hearing a lot of things I don't like happening on Thursday. And for me, Thanksgiving is the one holiday. No, I'm going to rephrase that. On Thanksgiving, it is a one day of the year where if you invite me to your house and say, yo, I'm doing Thanksgiving, I expect to show up and just be able to eat. You should not be expecting me to bring anything.
Oh,
I don't like the whole potluck. I don't like the whole.
No.
This happened. I'm hearing this a lot. Potluck Thanksgivings. You bring a side. No. It is your responsibility on Thanksgiving to fill my belly. Now, I might show up with a bottle of wine. I'll do that for you. I'll show up with some alcohol beverage. I might bring an appetizer because I feel like doing it. But I should not be required or think to required to bring anything but myself and my appetite. That is the requirements of Thanksgiving. You are responsible for my happiness that day when it comes to my belly. Solely responsible. If you have to get up at 3 a.m. and do that, you got to do that. If you have to start on a Tuesday leading into Thursday, you got to do that. But I need to come to your house knowing you understand the assignment. And the assignment is my belly needs to be happy. And the way my belly is happy is that I get to come to your house and eat till my heart is content. This is your responsibility. Solely on you. There is no potluck Thanksgiving. You should never be asking your guests to bring anything on Thanksgiving. This isn't a party on a Saturday night. This isn't, you coming over and, we're doing hors d'oeuvres, whatever to get. No, this is you. It's solely on you. If you say I'm going to host, you take on the responsibility of everything. The main course, the sides, desserts. I should want for nothing. I should feel like I'm part of the Roman Empire for a couple of hours. I want to feel like King Tut for a couple hours. I want to feel like literally there's linens, there's people are feeding me grapes. I want to feel like a king.
I want to be fed grapes. Like that's like a fantasy of mine is laying there and being on one of them like long like things and just having grapes fed to me.
Yeah, I assume no responsibility for nourishment on that
Agreed.
day. Nourishment is all your responsibility. Stop with potluck Thanksgivings, people. It's lazy and irresponsible.
I'm offended.
I'm not coming to your house. Listen, here's my rules. If you don't have an open bar at your wedding, I'm not coming. If you do not nourish me Thanksgiving, I'm not coming. Don't ask me.
I'm offended just to hear that. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
I will say there is one caveat to that, though. Only one caveat. Okay. If there is someone that makes a unique / outstanding dessert item.
Okay.
Only dessert.
I'm okay with that.
If you have a relative or someone who makes an absolutely exceptional,
Mary, I need you to bring your whatever pie.
Whatever
cake.
That is that is fine. The only caveat to that.
I'm okay with that. We'll make that amendment. That's fine.
Outside of that,
you're responsible.
If I show up and it's not like that, I'll leave. I'll hurt your feelings and go home. I don't care. I need to eat.
Right.
Get in my belly.
Like, listen, Amber and I are different. That's how we feel about parties. We feel that we take our Thanksgiving philosophy to parties. You should show up and want for nothing. However, I understand everyone's not like that, and that's okay. But Thanksgiving, I show up, I want for nothing. Everything there is mine. I'm expecting to take things home. Like I want to, like you pretend like I am homeless and I have nothing on that day.
It's like in Austin Powers when Fat Bastard's like, "Get in my belly."
Yes,
that's what I want to do.
That's the energy.
Yes. Yeah. I've never heard this. I'm offended by hearing it.
And I've been really good for the past couple months. I've been on a nice diet. I've been working out. I've lost 25 pounds.
Oh, congratulations!
I'm going to tell you right now, from Thursday to Sunday, it's up. I am going crazy. It is up for 4 days. I am going nuts.
The scale's going to be moving in the other direction.
It's going to move in the other direction. That's okay. I've worked hard so I can not feel guilty about what I plan to do for the next 4 days.
Have you? Are you ready for Skip Bayless's yearly? What's the word I'm looking for? Yearly Thanksgiving food inspiration video?
Yeah.
So like, you've seen it like how every year.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Every year, so Skip, he's 70, but he's really like got like a 26-year-old body, like because he's in like a ridiculous shape.
Yeah.
So every year he posts like a PSA video on Twitter where he's like, "Listen," he's like, "You don't need to gorge yourself. It's just extra calories. Eat a little bit. Walk away. If you're still hungry, come back for more." Shut up, Skip.
Right. No, no. Listen, sometimes you gotta treat yourself.
Go watch the Cowboys lose to the Giants, Skip.
This can't be every day.
I will put more gravy on my turkey.
This is a day that I expect to have 3 dinners.
I want to throw up almost.
Yes, I want 3 dinners.
I want to be that guy in that GIF I sent.
No, that was awful. That sucks. We have to sit next to him. That's horrible. Like he kept going. He threw up his body weight. He was a large man.
He was a big boy.
He was like, I don't know what he was doing, but like he was just, and he just gave 0 Fs. Like it was just
how much beer you got to drink to be that hammered?
Can you imagine the smells that was coming out of that section?
Oh man,
it's awful.
Dude was large and in charge.
He was a big man.
It's a big.
You hate to see it.
Go Buffalo.
All right, well, nothing else.
Nah, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving all, and to all a good night. March between everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app.
BradmanShow.com. Brad Emery Pod for the merch.
Well, I need to know
It's
outro if Elon closes it on me.
What's that?
If Elon closes it down on me, I need a new outro.
Yeah, you have to change everything.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. And until next time, you be with us, you be against us, never going to stop us. Late.